Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Brick Together. Now at a 800 times speed of the build. Here I'm doing a build on the Lego set number 75292, which is the Mandalorian Resu Crest, or that belongs to Din Djarin the Mandalorian. So this one here, I actually just wanted to say how much fun I had building this thing. And not only by the end product was nice and grandiose as the Razor Crest ship, but also just a fun experience it was to kind of build this one out in the course of 6 separate bags. And so essentially, while I'm watching kind of this one here, kind of giving more of my reactions to myself, which is kind of odd. I just wanted to kind of reflect on just the amount of fun I had building out this Lego set. In this case, everything that I've enjoyed about the Disney Plus series, on top of everything that I've enjoyed about building this particular set. And knowing this one came during the kind of the second wave of the Mandalorian based Lego sets, I thought this kind of fun. They can apply some new kind of techniques, or at least put a little bit more effort. ATST, I'm looking at you. On their particular builds for the newly now ultra popular Mandalorian TV series. And so this kind of first set of bags, you're really building out the foundation of the Razor Crest itself. I kind of enjoy just knowing that, oh yeah, this is probably going to be the compartment where he holds all the I'm gonna mess it up, but kind of the frozen bounties, frozen and carbonite style bounties. This is the section where he'll normally take a nap when he's kind of tired and so forth. But at the same time, it's kind of a fun to watch type of experience. Oh, heck, moving on. I thought the video exactly kind of hiccuped. But this is basically just building out that foundation. And since this is about well over, 800-ish pieces, more probably, if I can look at the icon better. But I actually had a fun time just kind of following as much of the like very very clear and concise directions, And even though the first set of options or the first set of instructions allows you to kind of build out, the Mandalorian. And I was like, oh, awesome! I get to, kind of had that figure in the collection, or that minifigure in my collection, as you can see, there's a scout trooper as well too, right there on that bottom left. And so as it goes, just kind of plugging away, building piece by piece. And so you kind of get the feel of the kind of the foundation, the actual hull of the Razor Crest that you're building. And so there wasn't that many like leftover pieces. Normally there's quite the variety, but there are times when I probably took out my extra bag to kind of put in those extra pieces. And I've definitely have done this on my Twitch streams, but you'll notice that I don't separate or sort the pieces of the Legos, and so I kind of treat it as the mini kind of a Where's Waldo of looking at okay, I need 2 of these, 3 of these. And so when I would read the instructions, I would basically look at the instructions and kind of pull aside the pieces that I need from this number for this page and this instructions. And then it's more of a fun bonus activity of just kind of going, dang, I know this piece is there, I know I gotta find it somewhere else, where is this thing hiding? And so with that, oh, it looks like bag 1 is completed, and now moving on to bag 2, probably a little bit more of the Razor Crest's hull. And so if you notice here, I'm pretty much just going blah. Here's all the pieces right here on this table, and I'm going to do my best to try and find those pieces on that page, on that bit of the instructions, and figure out, I need 3 of these, but these look almost identical to each other. I need the small piece, but that adds to the fun, and you'll notice I'm kind of just pulling up towards the top left portion of this of the video. Oh, and the decals. You'll notice I'm even borrowing the little orange tool to hopefully lay out the actual sticker decals correctly. There are times I get lucky. There are many times I don't get lucky, and so hopefully on this one, if I can recall, I was fairly successful on maybe the second or 35th try on getting these sticker decals connected. Look at this, building out the cockpit. Granted, in the actual show, you probably can hold more than just the front and the back, but for minifig state, for look at that. Ah, so cool. You're already building kind of the top part, very like the feel of the ship where it's kind of elevated a little bit higher. And so, spoilers abound. This is one of my favorite ships. It will be missed, but at the same time, it could also be called the Razor Crest 2 when it gets redesigned, rebuilt. But then again, from the lore, this is a very old ship. And so there's probably not that many around. And so just the modifications and all the tweaks and changes that the Mandalorian has done for this one, man, I don't know what the next season's has in store for this kind of iconic ship. And so, bit of a bunny trail. I was rewatching some of the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. And how cool would it have been, as iconic as it was, but just in this kind of, hey, let us subvert your expectations. Let us blow up the Millennium Falcon and have the Millennium Falcon 2, Or, what? Lando could have just won another one on a game of Sabacc, potentially, and still have a brand new version of the Millennium Falcon built. But this is the updated Lando kind of super cool cruiser. ultra limo that he wanted to make. And so I was thinking that would have been cool to finally say goodbye to the Millennium Falcon in any of those trilogies. Actually, it would have been cool to say goodbye to C-3PO. And they could have brought him back maybe as the AI of a ship. They did that for the Millennium Falcon. Or feed him, back into, a single source. Or something cool. Or a different droid. C-3PO is still iconically C-3PO. But at the same time, it's for a new generation of parents and kids and fans, and go, oh, so this is a new C-3PO? Okay, cool. So it still has such and such, and Anthony Edwards is still the actor and whatnot. And so would have been a cool and worthy nod, an homage to the original C-3PO. I mean, they gave him a red arm in The Force Awakens, and he quickly removed that red arm. And I did play the Lego Force Awakens game, the side story that showed him how he got the arm. Basically, it plays out like an old episode of, I believe, the Clone Wars was. And not exactly, but it really was just C-3PO with a bunch of marooned, I believe, other droids. And so he became friends with those droids, and one of them gave him their arm before he was rescued. No, that was pretty much it. Looks like I'm building out a Y-wing over here, which is kind of cool. But not really. I think... What part is this? Is this I think this is more like the tail end. I'm looking at the photo now of the actual completed Razor Crest. But it looks like the photo. And so the tail end of the Razor Crest right here. And you know what? I took my time with this build, to be honest. Even though you could definitely fly through this one as fast as, Star Warsy as possible. But you know what? I think I did this one over the course of, I want to say, over a month. I wanted to dedicate about a bag worth, maybe about a week when I can. maybe every couple days when I can, when I had like the setup, the time to do it. But also just kind of admiring as that first bag was done, as that second bag or third or fourth bag was done, I got a chance to kind of look at the work in progress, as it was getting built, and kind of enjoy the kind of the care and love that was put into finding this piece connects this great with this overall whole, and not just kind of padding it with more and more pieces. Granted, you get those bonus pieces at the end of each bag, but at the same time, you kind of have to know the amount of forethought and thinking has to go into, okay, if I need to represent this as best as I can, but all I have is a square brick, how can I get this done? And so you basically kind of see it when I get to build out the engines, kind of on the top left and right of the Razor Crest itself. So I think I'm already here at bag number 3. Boy, 800x speed. It's a beaut. Because granted, if I had to show this in real time, gosh, let me see, about 3.5 hours worth of slow plodding pace as I was building this one. And I'm kind of just looking at all the different the time codes of the videos. And so bag 3, the progress on the Razor Crest continues. And so watching this kind of go about, gosh, man. And it still counts as spoilers, even though the Disney Plus series has ended, and you already know the name of the Baby Grogu or Baby Yoda or whatnot, that this one got blown up, in the penultimate episode. Razor Crest 2. Maybe that's what's just gonna rename Boba Fett's ship, because now that's just the main ship. But it looks like, I think at the end of the season 2 of Mandalorian, he still has his ship. And he takes over, Jabba's old palace. So there might be a way to kind of rebuild, a new ship. Or say another deep cut. And I'm not even really sure where this one came from, this particular design of the ship. But if they can find a separate kind of Clone Wars era style ship, maybe something used in the Clone Wars cartoon, maybe something borrowed from, oh my gosh, how cool would that be if they borrowed something from Rebels, and so they actually got the Ghost. And truth be told, I already have that one built out, but if they have another Ghost but in the style of the Mandalorian, man, I'd buy that and build that in a heartbeat as well too. In terms of Rebels in the TV show, that's probably one of my most favorite, kind of animated adaptations for Star Wars. There's plenty, and there's good ones. Clone Wars, sure. Multiple seasons, a lot of politics, I have a bad feeling about this type of lines, but at the same time, whatever it had to stretch out into that many episodes, they got as much of the lore and the story arc ready, kind of polished all the way through. And I believe I finished season 7 for I did, I believe, finish season 7 with Asuka and Darth Maul. And so that was kind of cool as well too. It's, Battle of Mandalore and all that good stuff. But you know what? I actually haven't gone through the Bad Batch yet. And so I probably went through the first couple episodes, but knowing that I was going to be a couple, quite a few, and every week, I just wanted to wait till it was officially all the way through, and then I can go back and binge every episode. Very similar to what I ended up doing with Clone Wars and rewatching Rebels. Now, back to the idea. Wow, back to the idea of the Ghost, or a version of that ship for the Mandalorian. That would be so cool, And I'm watching myself still build it, and I'm kind of looking at the kind of the landing gear here, but you can kind of see the size of this thing already. And so, I have big old meaty paws as it is, as I kind of boot the microphone here, but you can already see these meaty paws, and just the size of the actual Razor Crest is pretty big. In all honesty, it's actually looking pretty big. And so with those engines, with the full cockpit and everything built out, it's pretty large in of itself. And so I was very happy. Oh, there's a little bag there to show that I had the extra parts. All right, coming into the home stretch here, we are now at bag number 4. Now let's see, what was I doing here? Was this just more and more of that internal parts, the kind of the details of the Razor Crest? Probably. And I'm pretty sure bag 5 and 6 will complete everything else out in the ship as well. All right, let's see, where are we here? Let's see, if I'm building out this part here, I'm trying to figure out what part. Yeah, it looks like kind of like the detail of the, oh wait, now I'm looking at the thing. It looks like this part is the engine, since it's a little bit more circular, a bit more round, kind of building things out. Or, wait for it. Ah, never mind. I was completely wrong. It was the actual front of the the Razor Crest itself. But even then, just kind of seeing it being built out piece by piece, it looks really, really cool. And I kind of like the little bit of colored accents that gets kind of changed, or at least get covered over. But it's nice to know. And if you built quite a bit of Star Wars related Lego sets, there's a lot of gray. There's a lot of light gray. There's a lot of dark gray. There's a lot of black pieces, a lot of molded matte black pieces, glossy black pieces, glossy gray pieces, a little bit of brown. And so building as many of these Lego sets that I have been, enjoying, to be honest, it is a nice breath of fresh air that, oh, cool. there's a different, color that's getting fed into the set itself. Man. So this looks like it's, yeah, these are the side panels. And so a lot of these little bits and pieces, a lot of the details, you can kind of tell it's it all serves in just adding a little bit more to the facade, of this piece. And since all of this is just shown on the internal side of the ship, it's great to put all that effort, and you will never see it unless you kind of pull that piece down, See, look at that, closed, looks nice. And so, rinse and repeat, as with a lot of the Star Wars sets, it's very symmetrical. Except for probably the Millennium Falcon, since that one has the cockpit over to the side. There you go. Decal central. And here's me, messing it up, putting it back on, messing it up, putting it back on. Let's try it again. There we go. Apologies if there was any kind of noise there. I had to turn off a certain appliance, and probably a lot of rumbling for the first 15 or so minutes. Man, look at this one. See all little bits and pieces, and all just to kind of like reinforce that panel, and that's the part that's gonna go. Oh, looks like I messed up here as well too. And that's where that the orange brick separator comes to the rescue. And I have way too many of those. I wonder if you can just build something out of just the orange brick separators. Is that what they're called? I don't know. Maybe they're called. Speaking of Lego Star Wars, I'm hoping the Skywalker Saga, that new game comes out pretty soon. Hopefully. Oh, look at that decal. There you go. Frozen in carbonite. One more. Frozen in carbonite. I think I did okay with those. Good. You didn't see me peeling those and putting it back on. But I believe it got pushed back again, the Lego Star Wars game, and I loved them. And I did my best to kind of 100%, or at least get the maximum achievement or trophies on the last one, The Force Awakens. And so I was kind of bummed out they didn't make one of Fallout 4, Last Jedi, and even Rise of Skywalker. They could have. I think they put a lot of work into Force Awakens. A lot of filler, a lot of padding, but at the same time, they did as much as they could. They tried to kitchen sink it as much as they could, and they succeeded. But I guess they just didn't have enough time or resources, or a little bit of both, to do the two final films, or the 2 films of the sequel trilogy. Man, look at me go here, and this is probably one of the most heaviest of the bags, to be honest. For bag number 4, building out the 2 side panels, building out the front, building out the kind of the rear side, so it kind of closes in a very nice shape. Adding in all the decals, as you can tell, this is me just kind of stressing over it with that tool. Oh, messed up. One more time. Wait for it. Messed up. One more time. Okay, good. So far, so good. Oh, look at me. I'm trying to figure out how this little bits piece here. This is probably... is this the engine? No, it looks like it's probably like one of the cannons. Yeah, I think it's one of the cannons. Yeah, cannons. Sub-axis speculation. Man, if they make a Ghost as the next iteration of the Razor Crest, or if they just call it the Ghost, oh my gosh. I don't know, is General Hera Syndulla, I'm trying to remember if she's still a part of, I know the Rebellion, I'm not sure about the Resistance, and this is all past episode 6, but predates. I'm trying to remember. Now I'm just kind of like scouring my brain if we saw her in any parts. But even I think in Rise of Skywalker, I think there's a scene where you saw the Ghost. Oh, look at me. Messing up the stickers again. Working on the Ghost, or at least the Ghost shows up at the very end battle. I might have to look at that. The one at Exegol. There you go. Same cannon. All for show, and doesn't have the well, there's some of that shoots the red laser bullets, the laser bolts. Look at that, the size already. So add a little bit of detail, a little bit of detail, a little bit of detail. And thankfully by end of the bag, you'll have very little leftover pieces and not just giant chunks. And then here's the cool part, and you can't really see it, but the left and right side has bits of damage, so they're not exactly the same, the left and right side of the cannons. So it's kind of cool, adding those. But look at that. Look at the size of that thing. If they rebuild the Ghost for Mandalorian Season 3 and have this size, because I believe side by side, the Lego set of the Ghost compared to the Razor Crest is a little bit bigger. Oh, look at that. Grief Karga making an appearance. I forgot what's coming out this year. Oh yeah, I think it's Book of Boba Fett. So continuing around this kind of the final run here. So I'm now in bag 5. Now this is just tons and tons of detailing, because I'm now looking at the pieces. And it looks like there's a cone shape. That'll definitely fill out the last bits and pieces for the cockpit of the Razor Crest itself. But I can't say more. I can't say enough how much I enjoyed building this set. In all honesty, this is so much fun. And they're ones that you kind of slog through, and there's tons of bags and a lot of gray, a lot of dark gray, a lot of matte black, a lot of glossy black. But this one here, even from the very first bag, you kind of knew what you were building. And even if you're not familiar with this series, with this ship, it kind of lets you know, like, oh, this must be, the bottom portion of that hull. Oh, this is cool because I'm building out, the mini living quarters for the Mandalorian, for the main character. Oh, this is the part where he has all his weapons and a little bit of a thing. And you can see it from the decals, you can see it from the frozen and carbonite type of characters. But even then, I think I've already kind of sneaked them in. And so inside the hull gives you a lot of that detail inside through each of those episodes. And even like the cool little resting area. And there's like a little cubby holes where you can kind of store weapons and whatnot. So here you go. Putting some fine tuning of the cockpit. And to be honest, I was probably trying to fit it all in the frame of the camera, but the dang thing's so big, plus the different pieces. The kind of Logitech web camera I'm using just to film this can only hold so much before it just kind of goes beyond the size of the table that I'm building it on. I need a bigger table. Cockpit is so sweet. But yes, you can hold definitely probably two-ish. And I believe on the instructions, you can put the little Grogu on the Mandalorian's hand so he doesn't take up a spot. But look at this, rounding out the end of bag number 5 over here. Finishing up the cockpit, and let's see, this is probably like the, maybe the top part of the ship, to be honest, like the hatch. Because it does not look like any of the engines or whatnot. And so for folks that are building out these Lego sets, you know, you're spending quite a bit of money on this one. Oh, I think it's like is this like a escape pod? It looks like an escape pod, or something that can hold stuff in it. If you notice, there's like a little opening there. I'll probably try and reopen it to add more stuff. Oh yeah, so it's the top hatch. I can hold stuff. And so just for folks that, you know, that spend tons of money on these Lego sets, sometimes you're either sponsored, sometimes you use your own money. I use my own money because I'm a huge fan of Legos and a huge fan of Star Wars, and I'm a huge fan of gray, light gray, dark gray bags of pieces. But it's worth not having to rush through these, because once you're done, you're going to put it on a shelf. You might drop it, it might shatter. You might put it in a shelf. You might, you know, bestow it on your family, your nephews, nieces, kids, or whatnot. And so, but at the same time, the half of the fun, if not 99% of the fun for me, is actually going through the build itself. There are times when I totally had my own adventures with the crew of the Ghost from Star Wars Rebels, but at the same time, building this one out, and sometimes you get duds. You know, you're building good sets like this one here, but sometimes you're building the duds, the boring ones. And I'm looking right at you somewhere, the Ninja Turtle Submarine from the older, multiple rebooted, but from the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtle Submarine. I swear that thing is supposed to hold together. You lift it up and like half the submarine falls apart. So that wasn't fun at all. That ended up in a Ziploc bag in a shelf somewhere. And so, for ones that you know you're enjoying, yeah, have at it, you know, have a good time. And look at this, building out one of the engines. There's so much detail on the inside of this engine, and I was just admiring a lot of the work and design that had gone into this. That seemingly, you know, you have two, and so you build one, get it over with, and you build the other one, you get it over with. But this one, kind of the love and care that goes into it, man, kudos to that designer, those Lego designers. And so here, yeah, just kind of round out. This is the final bag already, and so you can notice it's just putting those super touches, which is the engines, both the left and right. And honestly, I was kind of getting bummed. I was like, man, I know I'm close to the end, but I've enjoyed pretty much every step of the way. And so you'll definitely have certain sets where you'll absolutely enjoy it. Like I did for this one, like I did for even building out the little Dio robot as well too, was a lot of fun. But then you have those duds. Sometimes they're not Star Wars related. I'm trying to remember the other ones I didn't have a whole lot of fun with. I can only think of the Ninja Turtle one, to be honest. That submarine was brutal. I did build out the Lego Ideas, the Voltron one. And that was a lot of fun. I should have recorded that, and I tried to, and I failed at it terribly. But look at the size of that thing. Maybe for another set, once I kind of hone in on the technology that I'm going to use to record and kind of like not make this as boring as it always is. In this case, 800x speed. Man, what if I do 1600x speed? This will probably be like a 10-minute video or like a 3-minute video instead of something where I'm blabbing on for 30 minutes. Which, if you stuck around this long, kudos to you. You have my everlasting love and appreciation on that alone to stick around. If you scrub through it, even more so. She said, all right, is this guy done yet? But at the same time, man, this is a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying every step of just kind of rewatching the experience I got to have building the Razor Crest. And so sometimes that's what I was thinking. I built so many Lego sets and so many Star Wars Lego sets that you kind of forget the experience, the journey that you kind of have all the way through as you're setting these up. At the same time, we're ready and excited to start the next one. I probably have quite a few in this back kind of section here. One of them definitely is a Scout Trooper helmet. The other one is definitely a Lego Seinfeld set, which I'm super excited to start on. The other one is a big old giant one, which is the Tentive 4. That came out quite a few years ago, and it's just been kind of sitting on the wayside. So I might start on that one definitely sooner than later. Hopefully, make some shelf space for it. And so I might start on that one probably prior to the other ones. Plus, it's a big old box. I can get rid of some of that space here in the studio room. But here you go, finishing touches, putting on a little bit of the more. Am I messing up? Yeah, messing up, fixing some of the pieces, little small stuff, making sure. Oh, I remember why, because it was asymmetric and it had to look different from the right side. My brain immediately went to muscle memory mode and just rebuilt it in this fashion. It's a detail you would never find or never see, but I knew it and I had to fix it. Last couple pieces left. Connect that engine and we're almost there. Look at that. Look at that. Man, such a beautiful set. Oop. One more test. There you go. There's the red laser bolts that could definitely take an eye out. And here I'm just kind of showing all the different pieces, extra bits, resting quarters, the other side. So much detail, so much love goes into this one. And I loved it. I enjoyed every moment I got to spend building this one, and it's definitely taken a healthy size of the shelf. Along with the rest. Oh, and there you go. There's little Grogu sitting on the Mandalorian's hands. And fire. One more test. Put the extra bolts in there, of course, because they thought about it. Designers, you are awesome. And there's a weapon. There you go. There's a little container. And let's see. I think I can put the his rifle there. Oh, grave cargo. You can hang out there. Or at least I'm trying to figure out something. But a lot of bits and moving pieces and like the hidden nooks and crannies in the Mandalorian ship and the Razor Crest is super cool. And so that's it for this probably one. It's pretty much done. And so with that, I just want to say thanks again for sticking around for 30 plus minutes of me blabbing on, and I hope to see you for the next one for Let's Brick Together on setting up for this one here on set 75292, the Razor Crest. Thanks again. Bye.